Good morning. This is day 3 of my refeed. So I'm just laughing because it's like, wow. Crazy how time goes by really fast. And also, I did a weigh-in and I was the exact same weight, 151.8, that I was at the end of the fast. So I'm doing something. I think I'm doing something right. Because I think last time when I was like, I wasn't really recording like what I was, measuring after the breaking the fast. But I think I got up about 5 pounds within 2 days. So if I remain the same, it's like, wow, that's great. But anyway, so it's surprising actually. I was talking about resilience and stuff like that last night, and actually, honestly, I know. After that video, what I ended up doing is I didn't actually go back to work, and I understand that. But I woke up around 4:44 a.m. Went to the bathroom, took a small nap, and then I got back up at like 5:05 a.m. And I just was like, I just want to do stuff. So then I just started cleaning my house because there was just shit everywhere, and I've been going at it since. And so for the last hour and a half. And then I started thinking about like what I want to eat, and then I put on Star Trek just to have something playing in the background. Which, by the way, I can appreciate a lot more today because of its implication of like of a quest, I guess you could say. It's like, okay, we're on a mission to do this thing, and like even though you don't always know what's going on in the show, like it's not really quite direct. It's just this sense of adventure and that you gotta stick to the objective and cut out all the bullshit basically. And like Captain Picard is the exact representation of somebody you want to be if you want to have good leadership qualities towards like engineering or whatever. So but yeah, Captain Picard is way severely underrated. Like I said, when I was when I was 6 years old, I hated it. It was like Star Trek was on right after Pokemon. I wanted to watch Pokemon, you know. So 1990 was it 1998, 1999? Because they had it on 1997 actually. They had it on, or I don't know, maybe it was 1998, but they had it on just before on UPN, and then before putting Pokemon on the Kids WB. That was years ago, and I remember I would watch Kids WB to watch shows like Men in Black, Animaniacs, Freakazoid, stuff like that, But yeah, it's kind of funny. It's just, yeah, I mean, I wasn't able to appreciate it at the time, but now I understand. It's like, if I was an adult back then being an engineer, I would definitely understand. And it's kind of interesting. Some people in the nutrition. There's one guy in the nutrition space that I think he's a big fan of it. It's kind of funny because he's the reason why. I mean, that would be one of the reasons why I was more attentive to what he was saying, because I was like, oh, this guy's a Star Trek fan. He's probably really into Picard. His name is Pradeep Javanadas. Before that, there was another guy I was following that was describing how Picard is and all that. And he was also in biology, but he did electrical engineering, but incorporated biology into his work. So he made medical devices and stuff like that. He's not on YouTube anymore. Well, his channel Kiss My Ass University is still on here, but yeah, he was. He's a funny guy. I think he's probably in his 50s now, like late 50s, and he's talking about being in Silicon Valley during the 90s. Which is where I was, like San Francisco, all that, doing computer science. But he was the first guy that I took advice from in terms of like moods and stuff like that, like connection between like your diet and your mood and whether you're depressed and stuff like that. So like he was trying to define depression in this like hour and a half long video. It was great. It was great times. But anyway, yeah, he's. Those videos, I don't know why his channel got taken down, but it was becoming a little aggressive. Like, he's kind of like Michael Savage. His name is Arthur Arcturus. And I know somebody, like, we keep talking about the old thing, but I haven't seen him on YouTube for God, like 2 years or something. But yeah, it was interesting because everything was high level for me. It was like I was a fat fuck, high level, but it didn't matter because, you know. Anyway, dang, I'm feeling like a little crampy here. But yeah, it's good to see that the weight is the same. But yeah, but right now it's actually 6:30. Uh, and I'm actually, it's weird because I wasn't planning on eating until later, but actually, I'm not intermittent fasting right now. It doesn't make any sense. I might as well get some calories in right now, to be honest. And then I'm gonna hope. Let's see, and then I'm just gonna start work. But yeah, I kind of wanted to do this to show you how I'm tasting the sardines because I haven't opened these up, but they've been stored for a while. This is the brand that I really like. It's actually very tasteful. Nick Norwitz also recommended it. And by the way, I wanted to say the reason why I think Pradeep Jarnanas is that because the Star Trek thing on his, there's a Star Trek thing on his do-rag. It says USSR or I think it says USSR and it says Star Trek or something. So I think there's something. He's probably a fan of. He was probably a big fan of Star Trek. What was it the '90s one? Generations, I think is what it's called. Generations. But I had it on and then it just stopped. I don't know what happened to my remote. Star Trek Generations. Dang it. Oh, I got it here. So, let's see. It looked like a commercial or something. Watching now. I don't know why it paused or something. I don't know. Anyway, we don't need that right now. I want to thank Melissa for giving me this TV. It's been great. And you know, it's interesting because I was also into this show called Becker, and the milk lady or whatever, she's like 32 in the show or something. She was on the show in the early 90s, I think, or late 80s. And so was her father, I think. So she comes from like that geeky background, you know. So I think it's kind of adds a lot of character, like, to her, you know. Like I would have never, her name is Reggie in the show. Like I would never have thought like she was, you know, like a nerd or something. She's pretty good looking, you know. At the time, I think at the time when I was watching it, when I was a teenager or something, I'm like, dang, I'd hit it, you know. Nowadays, it's like, oh, okay, I can see her person. I don't know why. Like nowadays, I judge that kind of thing more on personality, and I wouldn't say personality. I mean, just kind of the vibe I get. You know, you could call it personality, whatever, right? So like now, because I don't know, I just, you know, maybe it's because all this fasting is making my libido like go to zero or something. I don't know, but it just, you know, it's like, I think the thirstiness back then had more to do with not having the experience. Like you didn't have the experience, you know, of like living with or being around other people like of the opposite sex. So your mind makes a bunch of assumptions and it's not able to wrap your head around like how you interact with them, you know, because there are different species. Like, I don't want to be sexist, but like, yeah, it seems like there are different species than men. Because like, for example, like I started thinking about it, I'm like, even with men, there was a certain novelty when it came to like, I'm not gay or anything, but there was a certain novelty in the beginning of hanging out with other dudes that were like, it was like this friendship kind of thing. And it was a certain novelty I keep, it's funny, I have these thoughts randomly. I'm like, oh, how did that work out? It's because there was a certain novelty about hanging out with men like in the beginning that now it's like, oh well, you could figure out, like, you have a better idea of what that really was, even though at the time you interpreted it differently. I don't know how to explain it. I'm not saying like everybody's inherently selfish or inherently a certain way that would make you kind of want to stay away from people or whatever, but it's like it's no longer like this guess thing in your mind, like, oh, they're here for this reason or whatever. Because in your mind, it's like you're thinking of it a certain way. Like if I saw my dad's friends, for example, back when I was 6 or 7, right? I'd be, and I would start talking to them based off of what they're saying. Like they might just say one thing, and it might just sound a certain way. It might sound authoritative, and suddenly you start thinking like, oh, like it kind of gives you these biological signals, like, oh yeah, this guy is going to, I don't want to say provide, but kind of like provide in a way, or this guy's gonna, like, he's got my back kind of thing, or he's gonna make me blah blah blah. It's like X, Y, and Z, and those assumptions are all they have some meaning. Like they might actually mean something, but at the end of the day, it's just life is gonna happen. It's like you're a biological species; things are gonna happen, and it's like based off of the flow of things, it's gonna go in that direction. Like for example, I mean, take for example the looks department. Like that would be one reason why I wanted to lose weight, because I understand now people are just superficial, right? It's like you can't assume they're gonna be a certain way just because they say certain things. Like people are inherently gonna be like that. And when I say superficial, I don't mean it like in a negative way 100%, like I said. But it's like, it's just the nature of things. Like once you realize what's really happening, like what David Bowie's song, "What's really happening? What tore us apart?" You could start to like refine things about you that might actually make the outcome that you originally wanted, and you didn't have to just get rid of that outcome, or that outcome that you wanted in your mind. And you like that goes back to leadership. It's like if that's what you want, you're gonna be able to get it, right? That's the whole idea. It's like, dude, it's like, you don't have to overcomplicate it. If that's what you want, then you could basically get it. It might take some work, or it might take some time and or analysis or whatever, but you'll get it, So it's kind of like the message there. And but yeah, when I first woke up this morning, it was 4:44. I felt so happy. Like I felt like I could do anything. I was like, why did I stress out about X, Y, and Z? Why did I stress out about all this stuff? I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, why did I feel like I was distracted by this other thing and that other thing? Like, I felt like I could do everything, so I just kind of cleaned up a little bit. I mean, I still have some work to do, but yeah. But yeah, I'm actually going to cook some food, but before I do that, like I said, I wanted to show. I'm trying to figure this out because I have like this weird dryness in my mouth. And I know protein's kind of like a diuretic, I heard, but I think I'm just gonna have some of the sardines. I gotta remember I had about 27 grams of fat last night. But you know what is interesting is I heard that beyond day 2, you could basically. Oh! Before I have the sardines, so yeah, this is the package, like I said, and then this is what it looks like. And this has quite a bit of fat. It actually has 33 grams of fat. So I might just have a little bit right now, but again, like it's kind of an exponential process because by day I just heard another Thomas DeLauer video, and he said basically, generally speaking, when you're breaking the long-term fast, only for the first 2 days you want to avoid saturated fats and try to go low on it. Like I saw some other stuff and I was trying to like piece it together, like and I thought maybe it was going to be like a 4 or 5 day thing that I was going to have to do, but Turns out it's only the first 2 days, and the scale basically proves it. I mean, it didn't change. My weight didn't change, so that's a good thing. So I probably gonna have some saute some vegetables and have a little bit of that. But before I do that, I want to check my ketones just to see. I know it's in the early in the morning. Dawn phenomenon is probably gonna be there, but we'll just see what it is, you know. Because I went on that run kind of late and stuff like that, so. Yeah, and it's interesting because normally I would be like, oh, I want to go back to sleep. Like, you're only awake because of the cortisol, basically, and then once that dies out, you want to go back to sleep. But I don't actually feel that way. Instead, I just feel a general like sense of let's get up and start doing stuff, you know. And I don't have to start work till 8, so I'm happy about that. Yeah, so it's at 0.7. So I'm still in ketosis, but kind of light ketosis. And so again, like, I know the protein is in there and it's kind of like doing its job, but so I don't actually mind having these right now. I know it seems like, oh, well, you should try to make it higher but actually might stimulate ketosis. In fact, I might have a teaspoon of MCT oil in addition to this because that's what he recommends too. But that was like more like the first 2 days. So let's have this as a meal. This is going to be like, it's 370 calories, but I don't care about that. So I think my fat cells are doing pretty good. So let's go ahead and have some of these sardines. These are the best sardines. That's so good. That is so good. This is by Bar Harbor. Mark was saying that they were expensive, which they are generally, but they're worth it. Because the other ones they tend to be drier, you know. Like maybe it's because this has been marinated with the olive oil, and the fact that they're smaller. But there's got to be something else about this in particular. I don't know what it is. I love that sensation of the fat just like absorbing in your tongue. I'm gonna put some pepper on it. And turmeric. I haven't had sardines in, oh God. I think it's been, because these were in my pantry for a while, like probably good 3 months. I think it's been about that much time since I've had sardines, about 3 months. And that's just because, generally speaking, it's just a lot of fat at once. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. It depends on what's going on, but like I was telling you, I'm trying to get my fats up, my protein lower, and like this is a perfect way to kind of transition, you know, because you still have to go lean on some of the, like, I still have to go a little bit lean on some of the stuff that I'm going to cook. So it is what it is. Like, I don't know what I'm going to cook right now, but it's probably going to be like the same lean stuff. Probably just one cod. And yeah. And I was telling you, I thought about cooking the New York strip steak, but I think that's going to be for later. I might have 2 meals today. That's pretty good. This is Nick Norwitz approved. Got 2 left. I'm a lot more careful about the food that I consume in these days than I did than I was doing a year or a year and a half ago. Way more careful. Because I was just basically starting keto for the first time. There's a little bit of olive oil left, so there's not as much fat, but I'm gonna guess that the total fat intake was actually probably about 20 grams instead of 33 grams because, you know, obviously, I mean, there was like probably 1.5 tablespoons in there of olive oil and one, so would that be 9 grams of, I don't know how many calories that would be. I think I looked it up. I think it was 100 calories. So translate that into grams that's divided by 9. It's about 10 grams. So yeah, just from the olive oil alone, it would be about 10. So 20 to 22 grams of fat. So that's not a big deal. I also got the Good Culture cottage cheese. That's another thing I'm gonna do is, I think I'm gonna have a little bit more carbs. I'm gonna start having carbs again because it's like, it is what it is. Like, so there's a little bit of carbs in this. There's not very much left. It smells a little weird. Not too weird, but because it's been in the fridge for a while. So I'm just gonna give a small taste to see. Not bad. So I'm gonna have the rest of it. I don't know how many calories that is because it says the serving size. There's 4 servings in here. Each serving is 130. So this looks like it's about a half a serving size. I can estimate, yeah. So, wow, 65 calories. 3.5 grams of total fat. That ain't too bad. 1.5 grams of fat of carbs. That ain't too bad. Protein would be about 7 grams. That's not bad. And now the protein on this one, I think it's 20 grams per serving, or per can. Let's see. It says, yeah, about 19 grams. Sorry, it was pretty close. This cottage cheese tastes really good right now. This is considered the full fat one. So there's more fat in this one, which I absolutely don't mind. And it's a good thing. And then the low fat one. But that's all I have left after this. And so I might snack on that a little bit too. Let me show you. So there's this one, and it's the same kind of thing except for the fat. It says 2.5 grams. The other one had 7 grams, or has 7 grams. So if I had the same thing on this, it'd only be 1 to 1.25 grams per. If I had if I had the same serving in that, but the idea is to get it up, so it's good that it was actually 3.5. And this one, it has carbs in it because it's a yogurt, so I'm gonna have this as well, just a little bit. So that's the thing, is like there's carbs in all these milks and stuff, so I don't mind eating it, but maybe it would be a good idea to have it with my meal, just so it's all there. So this is it's called a Bulgarian yogurt. This has a specific strain of cultures that I guess some other yogurts don't have. It was recommended by Eric Berg, so I decided to get it. It's still pretty good. So yeah, thanks for watching. I think I'm gonna upload this and then show you what the actual meal. So thanks for watching.